Good afternoon on what is a bright, chilly day. It is Tuesday, the 4th of January. I'm back in the Read Nook with some parcels and, of course, a cat who is not ours and a nice hot cup of tea. And the next thing I'm going to open is this. Let's find out what's in here. And once again, I should have got the knife out for preparation. But anyway. Almost there. Let's find out what's in it. Yeah, it's open. First off, packaging. Before we get down to what I've got here, so let's take a look. The first thing I'm going to pull out is this, which is Rogue Trooper. This is for use with the Judge Dredd and the Worlds of 2000 AD role-playing game published by N World Publishing. Sadly no longer in print, so do go and find a copy of this if you can, if you want it. And it has to be said, I'm really looking forward to digging into this, because essentially whenever you get a role-playing game that focuses on 2000 AD, then it tends to focus on Judge Dredd, and that's no surprise, given that Judge Dredd is the flag, is the main character and stories in the issue. But there are other characters too. And one of the great things about the Judge Dredd and the Worlds of 2000 AD license was that it allowed the publishers to begin to explore the other comics. And there are a lot of other properties and titles within the 2000 AD history. After all, it's 2000 AD is as old as Star Wars. And as a weekly comic, that's several thousand issues. This is the third one they did. Previous to this, they did the Strontium Dog one. Strontium Dog had also been previously done by Mongoose as well, and perhaps I will get to review that at some point before I go on to doing the Strontium Dog one. But anyway, this is essentially a Rogue Trooper, which is a story of genetically altered or grown clone troopers dumped on a world that has been basically bombed to hell and back, and it's essentially, in some senses, a sort of recreation, sort of like a science fiction recreation of the American Civil War, because you've got the Northers and the Southers. It's not particularly laboured as such, but it's a great story, because essentially all throughout you Rogue, basically he and his regiment are betrayed, and he has to go and find the traitor, and his buddies get killed. And the thing is, his buddies can essentially download their consciousness into chips, which he can then insert into parts of equipment. So here you can see them on the helm and in the gun. So you've got gunner and helm there, and then there's basically one in his backpack as well. So in the and it's N Publishing, I'm sorry, not N World Publishing. In the battle for New Earth, choosing a side is never straightforward. In Rogue Trooper's universe, the battle for New Earth dominates everything. The Greater Nordland Republic and the Southern Confederacy wage an endless war for control of a poisoned planet. Desperate for an edge, the Southers have developed superhuman soldiers known as genetic infantry, or GIs, and thrown them against the enemy in the hopes of stalling the Nords' inexorable advance. Despite being outgunned and outnumbered, even a single GI can often be enough to turn the tide of a battle. Whether as an enlisted human or GI clone, it's time to join the Southern defence against the relentless assault of the Nords. Welcome to New Earth. Do not leave home without your chem suit. Rogue Trooper offers several new species such as genetic infantry and Strigoi, a raft of new careers that define a character's military service on either side of the conflict. New equipment and vehicles are designed to keep the character safe during the mission. A full gazetteer of New Earth, plus tips and trick to running games of Rogue Trooper in other settings with different themes. Set against the backdrop of the unending war of control for New Earth, this supplement provides a completely new experience for the Judge Dredd and the World of 2000 AD role-playing game. Requires the use of the Judge Dredd on the World of role-playing game core book, rulebook. Okay, so there we go. There's the back, and inside it is full colour. Essentially, apart from the original artwork, because obviously for much of its very early run, I say very early, much of its run, I would say 2000D was basically, it would have center pages, center spreads is in colour and everything was in black and white. That was fine, and you can see some of that on show here, and it's really great artwork all the way through. So yeah. So the other thing this also does, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so we've got guides of species to humans and Strigoi, so on, for creating characters. But yeah, the other thing it does, and what we've got here, as well as GI clones, is, which is really what most people want to play, is we have a list of Rogue Trooper terminology. Now, essentially, background like that makes this game, this supplement, essentially, if you're not going to play it, then it's a reason. It serves also as a source book for the Rogue Trooper comic stories. So here, and essentially, this chapter is rolling for your prior service and future careers and so on. Whether that's civilian careers as bounty hunter or criminal. And then going all military careers where you go to boot camp, become a dust devil or fifth columnist and so on, a genie and so on, Marines, and really you're creating your background there and what you've been doing on New Earth. I always like systems where you actually sit down and create a character like that, create a background, because that creates the excuse me. The character's history. And also the other thing you can see in the artwork is that the influences on the comic are fairly are far and wide. So here we have forces influenced by the French First Republic and then Empire under Napoleon. So yes, that's utterly ridiculous, but that's fine. Okay. So then the tools of war, so we've got a complete guide to equipment as well, and that's fairly important because Rogue Trooper essentially is a military combat game. There's lots of it going on, there'll be lots of fights, and we've got a breakdown, for example, of what's in a GI backpack there. Again, more expensive artwork, which just getting a feel of just how awful and devastated New Earth is. And if you've not read it, I mean, I do recommend you find a copy of at least the first volume, just to get a feel for it. I'll find out just whether it's for you. Okay, so and then we've got a complete guide to military vehicles as well. Customizations, no images of those. That's just pointing, but go grab the comic, go grab some images, use to find those yourself. Can't fit everything into a book. And then we've got nice little excerpt, just showing discussion between the chips that Rogue carries around with him. And then we get on to the features of New Earth. And what I like about this, if you have a look, there's different colours. The books are different colours. So the character creation section, the opening bit, is in blue. And what I like about that is you have is that essentially Rogue Trooper himself, the genetic infantry, they're blue skinned. That's a nice idea, colour coding it, and we get on to essentially here we have the sort of like the covering the careers and stuff like that, and the genetics, and it's green, giving some idea. And we get onto unique locations of New Earth, and it's grey. You know, it's you just think there's sort of like the fact that the planet of New Earth has been bombed out of existence and back again, and it's that it's been denuded of colour. Then we go off-world. We've got other systems and other planets. What else have we got? New Earth encounters, so you can create this if you want to. If you basically guide to creating the world around your characters. Then we've got even a section on Mega City 1, how you can basically bring the two games together, whether so Judge Dredd and Rogue Trooper. And then we have a guide to an adventure, which I think is called All Hell on the Dixie Front, and you can see essentially the split there between the north and the south, or the norths and the southers. And there's a complete episode guide there, so the GM can take this and run it as her own. And we've got further mission dossiers at the back there, so lots of support, lots of content in here. You can get out of the book, and the great thing about it is, because it's a supplement, it's got room to actually just have that kind of content. We've got more. We've got a full scenario, The Perils of Bucky Aurora, complete with a compound, which I presume the player characters would have to visit somehow and explore or assault or something. And then we have a mission Beyond New Earth mission dossier, and it's so essentially it's really looked at okay, here's New Earth, here's a mission on New Earth. Now planets beyond New Earth, and here's a mission for it. And you can see how here the artwork has changed to full colour. So let me just show you that. There we go. It's still good, and that kind of feels very Battlestar Galactica. I have to, but so yeah, that's quite a lengthy scenario, and we've got another one, Hunted by New October. And then chapters of basically allies and enemies on Rogue Trooper. So we've got Rogue Trooper himself, and then the details of his buddies. Basically the biochip buddies, Bagman, who's in the backpack, and then Gunner in the gun, and Helm in helmet, of course. So yeah, everything you kind of need. Basically, we have a couple of basically they've taken all sort of interesting and important NPCs from the comic book series and put it here. So like Brass and Bland, who a couple of the rogues who of course are not Laurel and Hardy. They just wear bowler hats like them. But yeah, lots of interesting content in here. This will be interesting to play, I think, to explore as a player. But I think it's going to be an interesting read anyway. I think it's unlikely I'm going to play this. I don't know anybody who wants to run it anyway. But there you go. So that is Rogue Trooper for use with Judge Dredd and the Worlds of 2000 AD by N Publishing. If you can find it, grab yourself a copy. Now much out of print. In the meantime, I hope you have enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, do please click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, appreciate you posting those. And do take the time to read them. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a cat who is not ours, and a nice hot cup of tea, all accompanied, basically, where I will open the box and talk about game for roughly 10 minutes or so, to the best extent of my knowledge. then please do hit that subscribe button. Once again, thank you for watching. I'll be back again soon with another unboxing of the Nook. Bye for now.